Ciao ragazzi, balik lagi main Mass Effect 1. Kita habis jalan-jalan di sekitar Citadel ya, banyak side quest, banyak side mission. Akhirnya kita sekarang akan meluncur naik kapal Normandy SR1 ini. Loh, ini kenapa sih Garus nih pakai helm gini, jelek banget. Kita cabutlah helm ini. Jelek. Nggak bisa nih. Apa gimana caranya? Nggak bisa ini toggle helmet gimana cara helmet. Nah ini dia tuh. Oh, si mbaknya nggak bisa dicopot ya helmetnya Mbak Tali nih, karena dia pakai hijab nih, udah sangat T ya Mbak T. Oke, let's go, kita kejar Saren. Oh, kita masuk kapal Normandy. Let's go.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
Oh, di scan dulu. Oh, decontamination dari apa? Dari virus COVID.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics.
Ya, kasihan.
Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Saren's out there somewhere,
ready.
and we're gonna find him.
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. You got anything you want to say to the crew? Now's the time.
Ya, be honest, jujur aja.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy.
Yeah,
The
nobody.
Council wants to ignore this. That's no surprise. They never helped us in the past. No reason they'd start now. But we don't need their help. We can do this on our own.
Yeah.
This began with an attack on a human settlement in the Traverse. But we know Saren won't stop there. His Geth armies aren't going to stay on the far fringes of Citadel space.
Nggak alone humanity. Kita must not fail.
This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on. The fate of an entire galaxy is at stake. We will stop Saren, no matter what the cost.
Well said, Commander. The captain will be proud.
Yeah, I won't let him.
The captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Ya, kita harus.
Yes, sir.
Ya, menghormati Captain Anderson yang udah dipensiunkan secara dini. Kasian ya dia.
Commander, something you need?
Joker.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Okay, nice to have you.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet.
You
Top of
better
my
do,
class
man.
in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
What are you talking
Dia punya
about?
penyakit
Are you
apa?
sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome,
Vrolik
brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Ya, kasihan. Ya, dia punya ini ya, kelainan tulang kakinya itu keropos gitu. Jadi dia jadi pilot tapi ya begitu, dia keropos tulangnya.
I need to know more about this Vrolik syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. I classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
You're not gonna
Nice.
break a
Good
bone
for
trying
you.
to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
Pede banget di
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
Yeah,
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
Oh, namanya Jeff. My name's Jeff.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the academy.
Oh ya, dia emang ini ya. Keluarganya
I have to go.
berkaitan dengan
Alright, see ya.
Alliance ini. Makanya dia jadi pilot. Karena mungkin terinspirasi dari lingkungannya, dia pengen jadi pilot gitu. Oke, kita kemana lagi? Kita keliling kapal dulu ya sebelum berangkat kali. Navigator Presley.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Ya, kenapa emang?
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, sir, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Ya,
I'm in charge here, Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
percayakan pada
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Om John Shepard.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Ya, bukan masalah kita doang.
This is bigger than humanity. Saren's a threat to every species in the
diceramahin sama
galaxy, and I'll
Om
welcome
John.
anyone who wants to help me bring him down.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
Ya, kasihan.
How did you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Oke.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Presley. Oke, nggak ada apa-apa. Ini ruang Zoom meeting. Kita ke bawah dulu yuk. Coba kita lihat kru kita, nakama kita cek. Ada siapa di sini? Ini ruang apa? Oh, ini ruangan kita nggak sih? Oh, ini kamar kita. Kamar kita ya? Oke. Kita nggak bisa ganti baju gitu ya? Nggak bisa ya? Oke, hello Kaiden. Awkward banget.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Oke.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Gak banyak ngomong orangnya. Ya, gue nggak begitu suka sama si Kaiden. Ya kan itu. Gak banyak ngomong orangnya. Tidak menarik.
Yes, Commander? Is there
Hello.
something you need?
Dokter.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep
How well do you know
I'd
the
never
lieutenant?
Tends to keep to himself, though.
I should go.
Goodbye,
Kita tidak
Commander.
pernah ngomongin itu. Oke. Ini. Oh, nggak ada apa-apa. Cabut. cabut. Pada kemana nih yang lain? Kru yang lain. Sleeper pod. Oh, ini kayak cryogenic pod gitu ya. Mungkin bisa jadi. Pada kemana yang lain? Garus, Tali, Rex pada kemana? Di bawah apa? Tuh, kasihan mereka dikucilkan. Ini kapal manusia. Terus mereka mungkin takut sama manusia. Masa sih? Enggak lah ya. Jangan rasis nih, jangan rasis. Enggak boleh. Oh, itu dia. Itu mereka. Oke, ini ada apa nih? Engine-nya ya di sini tuh. Ada engine-nya di sini. Hello, Engineer Adams.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Ya, nggak apa-apa.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Ya kan? Jadi bilang apa ya? Tali itu best girl gitu.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for Tally, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
FTL, faster than light.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Ini kayak ini nggak sih? Apa? Bakal kejadian nanti kita ketahuan musuh gitu nggak sih? Ini kan dikasih tahu nih alasan.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
Cara
She's the
kerja
best ship I've ever served on,
stealth-nya itu.
probably the fastest vessel ever designed. She's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Okay.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Hello, Tali.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like
Ya,
this
nerd
before.
banget emang.
I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
You're welcome.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Oh, kayak scavenger gitu ya. Jadi mereka ngambil rongsok-rongsokan kapal atau apalah dijadiin kapal gitu. Ya wajar lah, dia senang banget ada di kapal yang canggih.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Maksudnya?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child.
Oh, satu anak
If our
doang.
population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking
sih.
point.
Kalau nggak,
Of
ya,
course, we also can't allow our numbers to
sumber
become
daya
too
terbatas.
few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Conclave itu apa?
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Menarik, kompleks juga ya. Ini apa pemerintahannya si Quarian ini.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Ya kenapa bikin
Interesting.
Geth gitu?
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI.
VI, virtual
Over time, we made
intelligence.
small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Oh, jadi virtual intelligence tuh nggak sepintar AI gitu.
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Neural network. Oh, jadi Geth ini tuh kayak hive mind gitu ya. Dia bisa saling apa? Tahu pemikiran masing-masing gitu.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Hive mind.
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Itu kenapa?
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose?
Melewati titik
As you can
singularity.
imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves.
Oh iya juga.
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Iya.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld.
Diusir dari
We feared
planet
the Geth
sendiri.
would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so worked up. Most Quarians tend to have pretty strong opinions about the Geth.
Understandable. Terus dia merantau.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Ya bahaya nggak sih?
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer.
Oh, makanya dia pakai.
Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Ya makanya dia pakai baju jubah apa sih? Ya itulah ada suitnya itu karena ya mereka rentan gitu terhadap penyakit jadi mereka harus pakai.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Oke.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Udah.
I should go.
See you later.
Oke, thank you Tali. Kita ngobrol sama siapa selanjutnya? Sama Rex juga deh. Rex.
Nice ship you got, Shepard.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Ya udah.
You Krogan lived for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Oh. Bakal berantem nggak sama Garrus?
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation?
No.
An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
No, iya juga.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Oke, jadi kaum Krogan ini kena genophage ini. Jadi kayaknya bangsa spesies Turian tuh pernah perang sama mereka terus dikasih ini ya, apa kayak semacam virus gitu. Jadi mereka susah untuk berkembang biak gitu, untuk memiliki keturunan.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight.
Oke.
So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details.
Oh, yang bikin
They made it.
Solarians.
All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Mereka udah putus asa gitu ya.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard.
Fighting
I
in the
can't
blood.
change that. Nobody can.
Emang Krogan nih tercipta
So
untuk
long, Rex.
bertarung berarti. Mereka lebih suka pertikaian, mereka suka berantem. Oke.
Commander,
What's your opinion
Hello,
on the last
Steve.
mission?
kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander.
I'm
No
sorry.
offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
We came as soon as we got the distress call, even with the fastest ship in the fleet.
You did the best you could, Commander. It's my fault. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
Sir, they have flashlight heads. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Oke.
Dismissed, Chief.
Bye-bye.
Sir.
Kita punya kapal Mako. Ngobrol sama
Thanks for
Garrus.
bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSAC.
Yeah,
Have you
thank
worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSAC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
Oh.
So you just quit because you
Ya,
didn't
dia
like the
nggak
way
suka
they do
peraturan.
things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Oke.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Ya Garus emang pengen cabut ya, jadi ya cocok dia ikut kita.
Looking for supplies?
What are licenses?
Many of the best licenses are.
Let's see what
You bet, Commander.
Wow, mahal sekali. Gak usah lah, gak usah beli-beli dulu. Kita lanjut aja dulu ke next mission kita. Kita mau ke Artemis Tau ya. Artemis Tau mana namanya itu ya? Kalau nggak salah kita mau ketemu sama Dr. Liara Sony, anaknya dari si matriarch yang kerja dengan Saren itu. Siapa tahu dia punya informasi ya. Let's go. Ini kah? Galaxy map. Wah. Okay. Supposedly constructed by the long extinct Proteans, this colossal deep station serves as the capital of the Citadel Council. Gravity similar to the rotation and is conferred 1.02 standard Gs on the world's light and light 0.3 30 presidium ring. Oh, jadi ini ya, ada gravitasi karena muternya. Okay, population 13.2 million. Wow, banyak juga ya. Banyakan Indonesia nggak sih? Okay, gross weight, bla bla. Okay, semua. Wah, kita di mana ini? Kita mesti kemana nih? Citadel, no? Kita kemana ini? Kita kemana? Mana? Kok nggak ada ininya? Nggak ada pilihannya kemana? Oh, apakah ini bug? Enggak, bukan bug. Oh, ternyata mesti press escape dulu. Citadel, Serpent Nebula, beda nebula. Wah, luas banget. Wah. Kita bisa menjelajahi galaksi Bima Sakti. Wah, banyak banget. Oke, Noveria di situ. Itu Veros, kita harus ke Lianas Dixide, Artemis Tau. Wah, ada banyak juga. Mana nih? Yang mana nih? Nggak tahu. Sparta, Macedon, Athens, Assos nih nama-nama ini ya, nama-nama Yunani. Yang mana nggak tahu, tapi coba ke Sparta dulu. This is Sparta. Wih, andok dia. Cabut. Andoki. Kapal tercepat loh. Masuk ke mass relay-nya langsung ke ini ya, tata surya lain. Wah, banyak banget planetnya. Yang mana? Saya tidak tahu. Oh, kita mesti jelajahin banyak planet nih. Altair is an unusually large terrestrial world with a trace atmosphere of methane and ammonia. The surface is frozen and mainly composed of sandstone and other sedimentary rocks with deposits and iron chlorides. Judging by this sedimentary composition of the crust, it appears that Altair once possessed an atmosphere thick enough to support some form of liquid. What cataclysm stripped the atmosphere and left the planet free is not currently unknown. Okay. Ya, yang pasti itu nggak mungkin ditinggalin makhluk hidup. Kita katanya harus cari planet yang ada peninggalan Proteans katanya ya, kalau mau matahari si liara ini. Oh, ini ada kayak air bukan? Ontamalka is a large hydrogen helium gas with traces of chlorine and sulfur. Bau banget pasti in the atmosphere. Its massive gravity well tugs many asteroids from outer belts inward, past the orbits of Altair and Idolus, and eventually settle into inner belt. Ontamalka's orbit is congested with hundreds of captured moons, most last only a few thousand years before being ejected, dragged down into the atmosphere, ripped apart by tidal forces, and added to the gas giant's immense rings. Attempting to navigate the chaotic environment is hazardous at best. Ships without military grade kinetic barriers are likely to suffer catastrophic impacts. Skip. Bahaya. Kita ke
Commander,
Idolus.
I'm picking up a signal
kaget.
from the
Apa nih?
planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
Idolus, terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Idolus' surface is covered by white deserts of silicate sand, with only few areas of igneous rock islands to break the abrasive dust-choked wind. Idolus' orbit is congested with debris thrown inwards by the gravity of gas giant Ontamalka. Due to a high rate of meteor impacts and exploration is highly dangerous. Apakah di Idolus? Ntar dulu ya. Kita lihat Normandy is dwarf planet composed by light magnesium silicates of deposits of aluminium. Its surface is covered by wide swaths of ancient dark basaltic lava, possibly indicating the world was created through an impact of some other body in the system. Normandy's magnetic field is non-existent. This makes it impossible for ships to dump drive charge from orbit. That said, Normandy's minuscule gravity allows even cruiser-sized vessels to land safely for direct grounding. Ya, tapi gak ada apa-apa. Buat apa? Lastly, ada Alsages. Small distant Alsages is a small terrestrial with trace atmosphere of methane and argon. The surface is composed of water, ice, calcium, and deposit of light metals. During the aliens' pirate suppression campaign in the 2160s, the veteran Ilium Ranpera was caught with his frigate Tuneron grounded on the Alsages for drive discharge. When challenged by the cruiser Hyderabad, Ranpera refused to surrender. The Tuneron was destroyed attempting to take off. The debris is strewn across the southern hemisphere. Oh, sempat ada pertempuran. Bisa survei. Apa nih survei? Plutonium. Oke. Terus kenapa? Dapat plutonium kenapa? Oke. Dapat plutonium. Buat apa? Buat reaktor nuklir kah? Yang tadi semuanya nggak ada survei kan? Cuman si itu doang ya. Cuma si Alsages doang yang ada surveinya itu. Oh, ini juga ada surveinya Ontamalka. Large concentration hydrogen. Terus kita bisa apain? Nggak bisa diapain. Oke, mungkin kita coba landing di Idolus. Oh, kita landing di Idolus. Wah, keren banget nih, banyak planetnya ya. Kita ada berapa ratus planet nih ya kita bisa kunjungin ya. Oke, kita butuh siapa? Kita ya best team aja, Garus and Tali. Let's go. Wah, kita mendarat guys. Wah, mendaratnya kayak gitu. Duar. Wah, pengaruh rusak ya dilempar kayak gitu ya. Nggak pakai brake atau apa. Wow, apa yang terjadi? Wah, ada tadi sedikit bug kali ya. Oke, map. Ada map. Kita di sini distress signal, debris anomaly. Kita bisa ke kanan. Caranya gimana ke kanan? Naik sini dulu kali ya, ke atas ini. Kita ke distress signal. Bisa tembak. Wah, bisa tembak gitu ya. Wah. Wah, ini ngeri banget planetnya sih. Kalau kena meteor itu gimana ya? Itu apa? Ada ini sih, ada tanda tanya itu sih. Apa nih? Apa nih? Aliens. Wow. Apa itu? Waduh. Waduh, 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 waduh. Ada cacing besar Alaska. Mana? Ayo, kita harus hancurkan. Waduh. Waduh, 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 waduh. Waduh. Au, au, au. Au. Au, 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 au. Waduh. Apakah kita akan mati di sini? Aku tidak akan mati di sini. Aku tidak akan mati di sini. Waduh, serem banget ini cacing besar Alaska. Au. Au. Au, au. Ah! Mission failure. Aduh, last save-nya di mana? Last save-nya di mana? Last save-nya di mana? Last save-nya di mana? Gak tahu, kita lihat dulu last save-nya di mana. Oh, last save-nya di sini. Oke, kita lawan lagi, kita lawan lagi. Kita lawan lagi. Oh, bisa terbang. Bisa jam gitu ya. Kita lawan lagi, kita harus kalahin si mau treasure. Ada apa di situ masalahnya? Itu penting sih, kita harus lawan dulu. Oke. Rasakan. Oh, jangan deket-deket, oke. Aduh. Belum mati juga. Bukan. Oh, apa itu? Kok jadi banyak begitu? Apa ini? Jadi banyak ini. Treasure maunya mati. Oke, kita bisa turun sekarang. Cara turun gimana?
On my way.
Akhirnya dia mati. Pada mati.
Alliance soldiers. Looks like they were lured here by the distress beacon.
Kasian. Rest in peace. Press F.
Looks like these men were under Admiral Kahoku's command. He'd want to know what happened here.
Oke, dan ini apa? Signalnya kah? Oke, dilindas lagi mayatnya. Sorry. Kita lanjut ya. Kita lanjut. Kemana ya? Sana. Naik gunung. Au. Oke, di sana. Arah sana. Wadaw. Wah. Itu dia. Udah kelihatan di mapnya. Kita tanda-tandanya. Aduh, berat banget. Mana? Mana nih kita batok? Mana dia? Itu apa?
Redeploying.
Oh, dia mati juga. Oh, mesti dihack juga. What? Even Captain Milan's identification tag. How did I know? Should know for sure. Okay. Rest in peace. Udah dibawa pulang dia. Bye. Wah, agak jittery gitu ya naik mobil ini. Mungkin karena banyak ini kali awan-awan. Oke, kita lanjut lagi ada Bima. Wah. Kita lurus terus. Oke, itu dia. Wah. Wah, ngeri banget sih pasnya. Ngeri banget. Wah. Ayo terus. Apa ini? Rope. Manual bypass. Wah, gila susah banget. Oke. Caranya. Oke. Waktunya akan habis. Tapi kita jago. Waktunya habis. Oh, masih bisa. Oke. Kukira kalau habis ke lock ya, ternyata nggak ke lock. Oke, nice. Oke. Lumayan. Ada apa lagi di sini? Oh, boost. Di mapnya nggak ada. So, boost. Wah, apa lagi itu? Lithium. Terus bisa diapain lithium deposit? Survei. Mineral disurvei, mineralnya dihack. Apa ini? Oke, kita dapat lithium. Wah, silau banget itu. Gila, silau banget. Ya nggak guys, silau banget itu. Wow. Okay. Udah nggak ada lagi. Ya, kita nggak nemu si liar. Tapi seenggaknya kita nemu itu tadi ya. Para prajurit Alliance yang terdampar. Oke, kita cek lagi galaxy map. Akan ada di mana liar Sony ini? Wah, ada 4 lagi nih ya. Oke. Karena ini banyak planetnya, kita lanjut di next episode ya. Untuk kita cari liar atau Sony. Ternyata banyak banget planetnya nih. Ya, ada 4 lagi planet, ada 3 atau surya lagi. Banyak banget. Oke, thank you for watching. Jika kalian suka, jangan lupa untuk like, comment, and subscribe. Sampai ketemu di episode selanjutnya. Bye-bye.